Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Warframe. Today we're going to go over my Hildryn build. I decided to just buy her for platinum. I've been farming up my Solara standing, but I just couldn't be bothered waiting all the way until I get up to the rank I need to actually buy a blueprint. So I built all her parts, but you know, it's gone to waste now I suppose. But first thing first, her abilities as always. For starters is her passive. She becomes invulnerable for a brief moment after her shields are depleted, and this ability will restore after your shields get fully charged again. So it's actually really good and helps her survivability a lot, because shields are never an amazing survivability mechanism, but with this, it actually makes them pretty good for survivability. Her first ability is Balefire. Charge and launch devastating bolts of fire. It's an exalted weapon essentially on her 1. Mine is base drain at the moment and does 975 electric damage, sorry, at base, and it has an explosion radius of like 5 meters. Her second ability is also very good. It is Shield Pillage. You essentially throw out a big radius around you and all of the shields and or armor of enemies will be stripped and then given back to you and any of your teammates inside the radius when it comes back to you. So it'll go out in a big wave and then come back again. And you will gain all of your shields back pretty much every time, and overshields, worth noting. Pillage a percentage of shields and armor of nearby allies to replenish Hildryn's own shields and overshields. Also remove status effects from Hildryn and her allies. So as long as they're caught in that wave, their status effects will disappear, which is very nice. And also kind of necessary for slash procs and or toxin procs, because she has very little health, so the problem with that being that if you get slash proc, you can die very quickly if it's a high level slash proc. But Shield Pillage will actually get rid of the proc, so you can save yourself there, as long as you notice that you've actually got procced. Haven, I find this ability really weird and pointless, but it's a thing. Create a shield aura around allies, create a shield aura around allies. Enemies that approach shielded allies will take damage. Yeah. I mean, it's nice, I suppose, but it ups your shield recharge. I mean, it does very little damage, and it's just not amazing. I don't often use it, to be perfectly honest. Aegis Storm. This is her kind of... definitely her most visually cool ability. But again, it's not super amazing. It's pretty good, don't get me wrong. Like, it's pretty good control for certain game types, but you can't really move fast enough in it for my liking. But you take to the sky and rain balefire rockets down on your enemies. Nearby enemies are blasted into the air, where they will create an energy orb every few seconds. When shields run out, the enemies are smacked into the ground. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, essentially. It's essentially crowd control. The damage it actually does is kind of minimal, but you can shoot your balefire, i.e. your 1, while you're in it, so you can shoot guys while you're hovering. And as it says here, they will drop energy orbs, which is quite nice. Although usually they die before they would drop energy orbs anyway. So, But, what I will also point out, I nearly went too far. I'm going to show her balefire off first. This I didn't put any former into, and honestly I don't think it needs a whole lot of former. Like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's something I could do here that would make it better. But essentially what I've just done is tried to get the status chance as high as possible at 68 well, it's not as high as possible, but as high as practical at 68.8%. And it does like 24,000 corrosive and 13,000 blasts is what I've got it at currently. I mean, it does some damage. The status chance and the critical chance are both quite low. Having said that, it's also a it's like a 1 ability. So I can see why they can't make it too much more powerful, because that would just be overpowered for a 1. But as far as weapons go, like, the status chance should be higher to be really good. Granted, I mean, it can still kill shit. Don't get me wrong. It can do the job. But Hildryn herself is a 2-former build. I have Corrosive Projection, Enemy Armor Reduced. Actually, I'll go back and actually go through the mods on here. Why not? Hornet Strike, which is damage, Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot, Lethal Torrent for multi-shot, and Fire Rate. Auger Pact, more damage, and then I just have all 4 of the status chance plus damage mods. So Electricity, Toxin, Cold, and Fire. And Heat, I should say. That gives you Corrosive and Blast, and a bunch of damage for it. Now, as far as Hildryn goes, we have Corrosive Projection, I have this on pretty much all my Warframes, and it's particularly useful on her because she has particular trouble with armor, more so than she has with shields. You'll notice with Corpus units, you can usually shoot them once with Balefire and they die, whereas armored units take a bit longer. If you're playing solo, that is. If you've got everyone stripping armor, it's not much of an issue. I have Battering Maneuver on here, something I very, very rarely use. In fact, it wasn't even leveled before I put it on her. But it is a D polarity, and she comes default with a D polarity in her Exilus slot. So there's a couple of other choices you could put in here. Notably, could do Agility Drift, I suppose, but that's not amazing. Aviator, again, not amazing. Unless, of course, that works in her 4, which it very well might. If Aviator works with her 4, then maybe you could say it, just because while you're flying, you take less damage. So maybe that could be a thing. Yeah, actually, that's probably the desired thing, right? But I like going fast, so I'm better off a Battering Maneuver. And what that does is it's just one of the speed mods. And you do impact damage on your bullet jump, which is irrelevant. It's mainly for the bullet jump speed and the aim glide and wall latch time. But redirection, you should most definitely have redirection on here, because all of her thing is shields, so you need a lot of them. I also have Prime Vigor on here for even more shields. Also nice to have a bit more health, because at base she has like, what, 225 health? Which is a bit abysmal, I'll be honest. 360 at least gives you time to notice that you've been slash procced or toxin procced and prevent yourself from dying. When you have that very base health, you can die before you even realize you've been status procced. I have Fortitude for shield recharge. Also, chance to resist knockdown is nice, I suppose, but this is here for the shield recharge. For obvious reasons. Prime Continuity for ability duration. Transient Fortitude for ability strength, and it tanks the duration, which is why Prime Continuity is here. Umbral Intensify, simply because I could fit it. I put the second former in and I ended up with just enough to be able to get Umbral Intensify at not quite max rank in here, so I did. I was planning on just putting a regular Intensify in here, but I can fit Umbral, so I'll use Umbral. And then we have Stretch and Augur Reach, both for range. And essentially the build I've gone for here is just a bunch of range and a fair amount of power. Power so that my Balefire does more damage, and range so that Aegis Storm will catch more people. And also this Shield Pillage and Aegis Storm both need a fair amount of range. But that's pretty much the basis of it. Efficiency, I haven't run into many problems. Another gimmick of her, which wasn't listed in her passive, but, well, I say gimmick, it's kind of a whole thing. She doesn't have energy. You'll notice here, 0 energy. She uses her shields for all of her energy. So every time you use an ability, you can see there the drain is 100, and then it's 20 drain per second, and then an additional 20 drain per second per enemy that you're holding in your area of effect. So, let's take on the test, shall we? I will do the level 50 test first, just to show the power of Balefire. She can pretty easily take on the 140 test, in all honesty. We simulate this here. Raise all these guys in the air. Kill them all. Fully charged shot will kill these level 40 enemies, level 50 enemies very easily. Look, I'm out of shields, but we're going up very, very quickly. I want more shields back. So I cast my 2. I'm now up to full shields again. And I think they're pretty much all dead. There's one guy here. Dead now. Oh. Yep, he's dead too. So she can make... Whoop. She can make quick work of the level 50 test here. Like 20 enemies in this area. Easily take them out. Except the few that were hiding. Her Balefire does a lot of damage at these kind of levels. As you can see, it was like... What was that? Like 40,000 damage or something it just did to that guy there. And she scales quite well up into higher level enemies because they have more health. They have more armor and more shields. Hence, she can steal more armor and more shields from them. I can go 145 now because I went up my mastery rank, which that video should be up today as well. Actually, I don't know if it'll be up either before or after this. You'll see, I suppose. But at level 145, same kind of deal. I want to kill the ancients. Come down here. Get my shields back. There we go, got some overshields with that because there's so many of these guys. Once again, I want the Ancient dead. Keep these guys in the air. Honestly, just tapping this shot is probably pretty good because I have corrosive damage on there, so a lot of quick shots will get more corrosive procs, which will get rid of their armor, which will kill them quicker in the end. But as you can see, it still takes a fair amount of shots. Oh, she also has a unique dodge as well, which is kind of cool. She, like, uses her helicopters and dodges. Which, by the way, you can use while in your 4 to get a bit fast. Uh-oh. Give me your shields. Which, by the way, you can use in her 4. You can go higher in her 4. And it's worth noting as well, as you go higher, your area of effect goes smaller. I don't actually know how you go down. I assume it's a button, but I don't know what it is. I just go out of my 4 and then she slams down. I'll show off the 3 because I haven't yet. We'll link to those enemies and we'll be stealing their armor. That's nice, I suppose, but eh. I think they're all dead now. I'm still linked to something. Am I linked to Helios? I think I'm linked to Helios. Yeah, probably. He has 1,000 shields. Seems that it links to your Sentinel. I wasn't aware of that. Let's see if I turn my 3 off. Yeah, there you go. Helios has 700 health, 700 shields. That's a lot of overshield as well on him. If I didn't hit my 3, pushed him up to over 1,000 shields. So it works on your Sentinel as well as your allies, which is interesting. I was unaware of that, but that's a cool thing to note. But that's pretty much what she's like. She's pretty damn good. I like her. I feel like the one thing I will go over as well is my arcanes, because they were helping me in that. It's worth noting. Oh. It's alright, I can jump up. She's thick, give her a break. I have Arcane Grace on here, Arcane Aegis I should say on here, because of course you should. When you get damaged, there's a 6% chance that you get plus 60 shields a second for 20 seconds. Also gives you an Arcane Revive because it's maxed, but I also have Arcane Resistance on here, and the reason I have Arcane Resistance on here is that, one, it's not maxed, so it's not that good, but a 20% chance to resist Toxin procs is probably pretty good, because Toxin procs can kill you. Anything that can do direct health damage, so Slash procs and Toxin procs, are both a bit dangerous to her because of her very low health. Like, 360 health isn't a huge amount. So you can die very easily if you get pulled into... I didn't actually illustrate what I wanted to illustrate, by the way, which is the fact that you can dodge while flying, which is a very nice touch because it gives you at least some kind of ability to go vaguely fast in the air. But as I was saying, Slash procs, Toxin procs are not your friend. They can kill you very quickly. However, you just hit your 2 and it gets rid of whatever proc you have on top of you. Immediately as well, by the way. As soon as you hit it, the proc disappears. You don't have to wait for the wave to come back again. But that's it. She's really quite good. I like her quite a lot. She's a pain in the ass to farm, but besides that, she's really, really good. Thanks for watching. I shall see you next time, where we will take on Hydroid. I've built Hydroid Prime, and I'm currently forming him, so next time will be Hydroid. See you guys.